Good morning. Happy Monday. I don't know about you, but I'm fired up. I'm ready to attack the week. I'm caffeinated. I hope you guys are ready to start the week. It's going to be a good week. Strong sprint to the end of the year will lead to a really good next year. And I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Now, this morning, I am going to start with a rant. And I apologize, but I'm going to rant about one of my favorite topics to rant about, and it's not what you expect. One of the things that has becoming more and more concerning to me is that we, mortgage and real estate professionals, are starting to buy into the doomsday news, the headlines that we read about how bad the economy is, how poor people's finances are, all these doomsday headlines, when really nothing could be more opposite from the truth. And I'm going to share some of that data with you today in the hopes that we can start to become messengers of positivity about what the great opportunities there are. And that doesn't mean we have to put our heads in the sand. Certainly there's some alarming data. But what I would start by encouraging you is, who do you follow? Where do you get your data from? And is it good data, right? Is it just popular? Is it just, headline grabbing? Are the people you follow, if it's an economist or an analyst, are they correct or are they incorrect? When they talk about the direction of interest rates or the stock market or consumer sentiment, are they more often right or wrong? And if they're more often wrong, it might be time to choose another source. Speaking of that, I share with you quite a bit the economists that I follow, like Torsten Slok, or the analysts that I pay attention to. One of the analysts that I like the most is Sam Rowe from TKer. Sam Rowe. And he puts out a free weekly newsletter. It comes out every Sunday morning. And the newsletter is just packed with data. He makes his arguments supported by, he might have as many as 50 charts and graphs in his newsletter. Usually it's around 30. He has one topic or two topics per week, and then he just has the macroeconomic data. And I love looking through it because I can always glean really good information. And so I'll just give you a really quick peek at what his newsletter looks like. This is his Sunday newsletter, TKer by Sam Rowe. He's talking about how Americans plan to spend more money this holiday season than they typically spend. But that's not the part that I want to pay attention to, because the part that really caught my attention is his second point. And his second point, which I'll show you right here, is, if you can see it, is household finances are in good shape. That's his point. And now he's going to share a ton of really relevant data that we should have command of. For example, one of the things that just drives me bonkers is I frequently hear loan officers and real estate agents and commentators say, oh my gosh, there's over $1 trillion in credit card debt. It's a crisis. It's a crisis. Now, is credit card debt, overall debt, is it an issue? Is it something we need to manage? As mortgage professionals, is it something we can help our clients manage? Of course. We are specialists at debt management, right? At minimizing the cost of debt, minimizing the cost of interest. Of course. Some people should rebalance their debt, 100%. But the fact that we have over $1 trillion in credit card debt doesn't mean a thing. The reason why credit card debt is up is, one, we have far more citizens in the United States. The population has been growing, so of course we have more credit card debt. Two, things are more expensive. Things cost about 20% more than they did a couple of years ago. If you just take the growth in population and the added cost of things that we buy, naturally debt goes up. Credit card debt goes up. What you have to pay attention is debt per capita. That's what you should pay attention to. Or as Sam Rowe pulls up in this chart I'm sharing with you, is the aggregate debt to income. That's what we pay attention to. The aggregate debt to income is near historic lows, right? Now, how many of you are saying that when you're out there, or how many of you are reading this, that, oh my gosh, credit card debt, as tracked by debt to income, is at near historic lows? My guess, that's not what we're saying, because it's not what we're reading, but it's the fact. It's the fact. credit card debt is exceptionally manageable. Now, like I said, can some people benefit by repossessing their debt, by possibly taking equity out of their home to lower the total cash flow? 100%. Should we be reaching out to those people? Absolutely. That's what our job is. But I, at the same time, caution about fear mongering about, oh my gosh, credit card debt's over $1 trillion, when we're not really paying attention to the most important numbers, in my opinion. So this is a great chart. Use this chart. This is the debt to ratio to credit card debt. You can see the red line is the debt to income line. The blue line is the total amount of debt. So yes, total debt up. However, the cost of that debt down. Pretty simple. Now that's not, and this is the type of stuff you get from Sam Rowe. And like I said, I love Sam. I'll put a link to this newsletter. It's free. You get it every Sunday. It's awesome. This chart right here, he followed this chart up. He goes, by the way, we're nowhere near getting to maxing out our credit. Not even close. The blue line, the dark blue line, is outstanding credit card balance. You can see it's way down here. And the lighter blue line up here is a limit, credit card limit. And so you can see actually the amount of outstanding balances to the amount of available credit is low. It's low. It's not, people aren't getting close to maxing out their credit cards. They're nowhere close to that. Same thing for HELOC balances. You can see HELOC balances in the red. Here's the HELOC balances down here. Historically, the balances are low, just generally speaking. Here's the available HELOC space. Once again, the usage is pretty low. Now, isn't this so surprising, because that's not what you're hearing in the mainstream media, because the mainstream media is selling doom. It's not doom. It's not at all. Credit card debt is more manageable now than it has been for decades. You know, credit card availability, the available balances are at the highest level they've been. Once again, that doesn't mean we can't help people manage debt. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that we have to be a little better armed with data as we talk to our clients, because you know what? You know what drives home sales? Is consumer confidence. That's what drives home sales. When people are confident about their income, if their income is growing faster than the cost of living, right, they become very bullish on buying houses. And I want to be personally a purveyor of optimism that gives people confidence that they can buy houses because the economy hasn't been better, their income hasn't been better, and we have an uphill battle because we're fighting a mainstream media that has to sell doom. I'm going to share a couple of, I told you, I apologize. I'm a little over caffeinated. I apologize if I'm ranting. It's just one of my favorite topics. All right, so here's delinquencies. We see another thing we hear is, gosh, delinquencies are up. Credit card debt is up. There's no credit card, limits. There's not a lot of available, available limits, right? Here's delinquency status, right? So the answer is yes, delinquencies are up slightly from previous quarters, but down significantly from pre-pandemic. Significantly, right? You can see here, this right here, this is pre-pandemic. I don't know if you can see me moving this around right here. Here's where we are today. So yes, it's up from the lows of Q1 to 2023, but it's far less than the pandemic in 2019. So the bottom line here is, yeah, we have to pay attention to it. Yes, it is a leading indicator. Yes, rising delinquencies could be signaling something. However, we have to put it in context. Delinquencies are still below historic norms, but we have to pay attention to it, right? I totally agree. I think I have one more chart I'm going to share with you guys, and then I'll get off my rant. Here's the last chart. I love this chart. This is a chart that I think is probably one of the most important charts we can use as we advise our clients, as we meet with our referral partners. This is wage gains compared to inflation. Wage gains compared to inflation, right? And so for the first time in a long time, wages are rising faster than inflation. That generally means people's economic condition is getting better. Right? Now, that's not what we think as humans. If when we have inflation, right, and if cost of things go up, we think that's something that is done to us, like somebody has afflicted us. We are a victim of inflation. It's been mismanagement. But if our wages go up, we naturally think it's because we're brilliant and we deserved our wages to go up. So there's always dissatisfaction around inflation. And by the way, I agree. I went to the store yesterday. I got a head of lettuce for $3. Oh my gosh. I mean, everything I put in my cart was like $3 or $4 when it used to be like 99 cents. Heck, I went and got my car oil changed. It was $125. I remember when Jiffy Lube used to be $19.99. Now I know I'm sounding like an old, quack, so I apologize. But so going back to this, I just want to wrap up my message here. And like I said, I apologize about the rant. But generally speaking, the economy is good. Generally speaking, people's financial condition in the United States is good. And I would much rather be the messenger that, hey, things are pretty good, than the messenger, the sky is falling. Like I said, I don't want to misconstrue this, say we shouldn't help people manage their debt, because we should. That's the job we're in, and we can significantly help people's cash flow. We can help them repossess equity and debt 100%. But I think we can also approach this with a more positive message, armed with data, right? And the thing I want to just invite you again, find economists or analysts that are right more than they're wrong, and find ones that are really data driven. Now, of course, you can find any data point. I could find just as many data points this morning that argues the other side of the coin, but does that really serve our purpose? Anyway, that's my message. Off to a Monday. Sorry about the rant. Thanks for listening. Thanks for checking me out. I hope you have a great Monday, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks.